Yes, after days and hours of practice, exhibition races, qualifying races, it has all come down to this. The 61st running of the Daytona 500 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, and we are ready to kick off this season of NASCAR action. Welcome to the NASCAR on MD Computer Show. I am your host, Jack Krause, and let's get started with the first race, or at least the first official race of the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series season. And of course, we started with the Daytona 500. Now, first, let's get right into it with the news at the track. We start off the show with a person that has been well known throughout the NASCAR community, and unfortunately, he has passed. I'm talking about Sam Bass, who passed away last morning at the age of 60, I believe, from a long battle with a kidney illness. For those of you who don't know who Sam Bass was, he was technically NASCAR's first official artist. He's well known for making pictures of art that's surrounded through race cars, tracks, promoting for tracks or certain NASCAR drivers. He's also known for creating some of the most iconic paint schemes. Like one example is specifically with Jeff Gordon and his Rainbow Warrior paint scheme that ran from 1992 to 2000. And he also helped develop Gordon's now more popular Flame paint scheme that is still being used to this day. And it's kind of fitting that how Sam Bass's design will start on the front row for the Daytona 500. So my condolences go out to him and his family, and yeah, it just sucks. We've lost three major NASCAR, or at least three people in the NASCAR community. First it was Leonard David Pearson, then it was Glenn Wood, and now Sam Bass. So a rough start to the year in terms of that. But now on to some more of a lighter subject. This weekend we've had one action-packed and one very mundane races at Daytona. We'll start off with Friday night in the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series. It was a chaotic night for the Truck Series, and at the end of the day, there were 5 cars that were able to cross the finish line, which is the least in Truck Series history. It was the most cautions in the truck race, and it was the longest race in the Truck Series history. I believe it lasted to 2 or 2.5 hours. And at the end of the night, it was Austin Hill who replaced Brett Moffitt in the number 16 car for Hattori Racing, won at Daytona and scored his very first win in the Truck Series. Then the following day, yesterday afternoon, the NASCAR Xfinity Series started their season opener. Very mundane race, and Michael Annett, who has been in the series for at least 7 years, I believe, or so, gets his first win with Junior Motorsports, held off teammate Justin Allgaier, and I believe this is like the third time in the past 4 or 5 years that Junior Motorsports has won a race in Daytona in February. So Junior Motorsports is clearly now, if not already, the one to beat in terms of the Xfinity Series. So yeah, now let's take a look at the track facts for the Daytona 500. 200 laps make up the 500 miler, 60 laps apiece for stage 1 and stage 2, with 80 laps being the final stage. Pit road speed is 55 miles an hour, with the field window being around 40 to 44 laps, which is going to be key to see how teams be able to adjust their strategy when the stage caution comes to around lap 60 in stage 1 and 120 in stage 2. And the defending winner, Austin Dillon, looks to go for 2 in a row, but he's going to have to start a bit in the back of the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Daytona 500. It's an all Hendrick front row. William Byron in his sophomore start in the NASCAR Cup Series with new crew chief Chad Knaus, and on the outside of him is Alex Bowman in the 88 car. A couple of fours make up row 2, dual winners Kevin Harvick in duel number 1 and Joe Logano, the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion in the outside lane, who won duel number 2. Row 3, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Clint Boyer, another pair of fours. Row 4 has another pair, Paul Menard and Eric Almirola, who tries to get redemption after he was crashed halfway through the finish line in last year's 500. Matt DiBenedetto and Denny Hamlin, a couple of Toyotas, make up row 5. Mark Truex Jr. in a new ride this year in the number 19 car, and Kurt Busch moves over to the 1 car at Chip Ganassi Racing. Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney make up row 7. Row 8 has a couple of Chevrolets, Chris Buescher on the inside lane and Jimmy McMurray in potentially his final start in row 8. Jimmy Johnson, the Clash winner in row 9 on the outside of him, is his teammate Chase Elliott, 3-time winner in 2018. Ryan Newman, a new ride this year, moves over to the Roush Fenway number 6 car, replacing Trevor Bayne, and Austin Dillon, the defending Daytona 500 champion, starts in the 20th spot. Ryan Preece in the new ride, the number 47 car, replaces AJ Allmendinger, and Ty Dillon returns to the number 13 car in row 11. Daniel Suarez replaces Kurt Busch in the 41 car, and David Reagan in the number 38 car outside of row 12. Parker Kligerman and Kyle Larson, big shock to see him back there, starts row 13. Row 14 has Landon Castle and Eric Jones. Row 15 has Daniel Hemrick in his first start in the NASCAR Cup Series, and Brendan Gaughan in the 62 car. Kyle Busch will start 31st after he got spun up by Jimmy Johnson in dual race number 1. He starts to the inside lane, or excuse me, to his outside lane will be Corey LaJoie in number 32 car. Row 17 has a pair of teammates, Matt Tibbs in his first NASCAR Cup Series start, and on the outside of him is his teammate Michael McDowell. Brad Keselowski and Ross Chastain make up row 18. Again, shocked there to see Keselowski back in the field. Row 19 has Cody Ware and BJ McLeod, and rounding out the field is Tyler Reddick and Casey Mears. Now let's take a look at the odds to win the Daytona 500. It's not really, it's kind of useless, but we might as well go over it. No shock here. The top favorites are all from the Blue Oval camp. Brad Keselowski and Joe Logano teammates all sit with an 8-1 chance, with Stewart-Haas driver Kevin Harvick as well with an 8-1 chance of winning. Denny Hamlin in the number 11 car with a 10-1 chance of winning, as well as teammates Clint Bowyer and Eric Almirola with a 12-1 shot. Chase Elliott, the only Chevrolet in this page, is with a 12-1 chance, as well as Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch with a 16-1 chance, still looking for his first 500. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also as well with a 16-1 chance of winning. Kurt Busch, the 2017 champion, with an 18-1 chance, as well as Martin Truex Jr. Jimmy Johnson, 2-time 500 champion, with a 20-1 chance, and Daniel Suarez and Paul Menard, both Fords, both with a 25-1 chance of winning, with Alex Bowman, the outside pole sitter, with a 31 chance of winning, as well as Eric Jones and the defending 500 champion Austin Dillon. Now let's see what can we expect from this year's 500. Well, based on what we saw throughout Speed Weeks, we're gonna see a more mundane Daytona 500. I feel like. From the Clash, the duels, and even the Xfinity race, which I was shocked by, we saw the outside lane being the dominant lane, and it doesn't matter who you are or what car you have. We're going to see drivers, as soon as that green flag waves in stage 1, expect single file racing for majority of the race. And that maybe, with around 10 laps to go or 5 laps to go, coming to the end of stage 1, we might see drivers start to take chances and trying to get a better position to get more points, and expect that to see that happen throughout stage 1 and stage 2. Majority of the stages will be single file or freight train with maybe a bit of craziness through the end of those stages. Stage 3, same thing, and then with around 10 or 15 laps to go, all hell is going to break loose probably. But it's going to be interesting to see how will the Ford camp will work together, because ever since 1 or 2 years ago, the Ford drivers have just been working together outstandingly. We saw last year at Talladega with Stewart-Haas Racing, and this year we're seeing it with Team Penske and the Wood brothers of Paul Menard, Blaney, Keselowski, and Logano. They have worked extremely well throughout the entire Speed Weeks. It will be interesting to see if the Toyota drivers of Joe Gibbs Racing, who seems to be the only real competitive Toyota team, see if they can try and work together. Also with the Chevy camp, we haven't seen the Chevy drivers really work together. Chase Elliott will be a driver to look out for, since Chase is one of those few drivers that will go for as many times as possible. He's going to try and make that bottom lane work. Denny Hamlin is also another driver that might, pull out of that Toyota camp and might just be a man for himself, trying to make that bottom lane work. And that's going to be the theme of this entire race, is who is going to try and make that bottom lane work and try and contend with the Ford drivers, especially with the Team Penske drivers, because those are the drivers that are going to dictate how this race is going to play out. If a Ford driver, doesn't matter if it's Menard or a Team Penske driver, if one of those drivers gets out in front, everyone else will just follow them. Whether it's the top or the bottom, they're just going to follow suit. So it'll be interesting to see which drivers will have a shot at maybe spoiling the party and try and challenge the Blue Oval group. Now let's take a look at my Fantasy Live picks for the Daytona 500. Again, it's kind of ridiculous to do it, since even though it's a freight train, you still don't know who's going to win the 500 or is going to have good picks for this race, but I tried. So my picks for this race is going to be, I believe it was 4 fours, I think 1 Chevrolet and 1 Toyota, or 3 Fords, 1 or 2 Chevrolets. I don't know how it went. But my first pick, we're going to be Brad Keselowski. He is right now the new Pied Piper of super speedway racing, not just Daytona, but also Talladega. He's going to be very strong throughout the field. He's going to be in my lineup. Chase Elliott, he's one of those few Chevy drivers that's very aggressive and can contend up front, and he can stay there, I believe. I feel like he has the experience now, and I think he has the car that is well enough to contend up front if he just stays out of any accidents. He's my second driver in my lineup. My third driver is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now it's kind of a controversial pick, depicting on what he did last year when he nearly tried to kill everybody. He is a very good restrictor plate racer. Very aggressive, but he's good. He won Daytona last year in the fall and Talladega, actually 2 years ago, not last year. He is aggressive, but he is a good plate racer. I feel like if he can just, again, not cause any trouble, but still be aggressive, I feel like he will have a good finish. Joe Logano is my other driver in my lineup. Again, similar to Keselowski, he's one of the new Pied Pipers of Daytona. Dictates the field. Very strong car. Won dual race number 2 with I will say, an incredible last lap pass. I still don't know how he got that big of a run on Clint Boyer, but he's in my lineup. And my fifth driver and my starter pick is Martin Truex Jr. I just don't see, like, he's been under the radar most likely. I just feel like is like a sleeper type of pick. I do feel like he will be able to contend up front. Toyota drivers, this is not to undermine the Toyota camp. They have good race cars. I feel like the Truex, just with a bit of help from his teammates, I feel like he can be able to get up to the front. He has been in position to win the 500. I feel like he can be able to get a good run today. And my final pick was in my garage. It's another Hendrick driver, and it is a 48 car of Jimmie Johnson, the Clash winner. Again, similar to Truex, he's a sleeper pick. He has a good car. As long as he doesn't wreck anybody, I feel like he'll be in good hands. He's got a strong car, very aggressive. Again, if he just stays out of harm's way, if he doesn't wreck anybody or doesn't get into anybody, I feel like he can have a good shot at winning the 500. Now it's time for my bonus picks. Stage 1, Stage 2 winner, the race winner, and the winning manufacturer. Stage 1 will go to William Byron. I just feel like, I talked about this earlier, I just feel like it's going to be more of a freight train type feel. And, I just don't see I don't see any real aggressive driving in Stage 1, maybe with 1 or 2 laps to go. But again, you have to understand, Brad Keselowski, he's starting 36. And if it's going to be a freight train, you're not going to be able to get up to the front in a freight train. He's also got Alex Bowman behind him as backup in case, the 4 drivers of Harvick and Logano might team up to try and pull a move. But overall, I think William Byron will win Stage 1. Stage 2 will then go to the Penske driver of Brad Keselowski. Stage 2, after pit stops and, maybe some drafting work, I feel like Keselowski will be right up there near the front, and he's going to be aggressive. We have seen that time and time again. Keselowski will be majorly important in terms of drafting with other drivers to get to the front. I feel like he's going to do that and win Stage 2. And the race winner will go to a Ford driver, but from the Stewart-Haas camp, Eric Almirola. I feel like that Eric Almirola is just, again, he's a sleeper pick. We've seen throughout Speed Weeks, everyone's talking about Penske drivers. Everyone's talking about Keselowski, Logano, Menard, Harvick, but no one's really talking about Eric Almirola. He's another one of those he's a dark horse in my opinion. He has a strong race car. He's a good restrictor plate racer. He won Daytona 2014. He also won the Talladega race last fall. And he's itching to win the 500 after what took place last year when he got turned really halfway until the finish. So Eric Almirola is my pick to win the Daytona 500. But that is it for the NASCAR on MDK Pre Show. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. But until next time, I'm Jack Ross from NASCAR on MDK. Hope you guys enjoyed the Daytona 500, and I'll see you guys in the next video.